Hi guys, Luke here from Slightly Insane Gaming, coming at you with a new video to round off the 2020 year. What a year it has been. Quite spectacular, not necessarily for the right reasons, but today's video is going to be something slightly different. I'm going to have some Formula 2 on in the background here, just a race I did a couple of days ago. And I'd like to talk to you and discuss and share my thoughts on the news that broke yesterday, or a couple of days ago by the time you may be seeing this, that the EA, the big bad EA, have offered Codemasters, who make the F1 game. The footage you are watching now is the F1 2020 game in the F2 cars from F1 2020, which is made and published by Codemasters. Now, a month or so ago, a rival studio, Take-Two, who own Rockstars, who are the creators of the GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption series of games, they offered Codemasters a deal. The deal priced Codemasters at £725 million, more or less $973 million. Now, this came as a surprise because I don't think anyone had expected Codemasters to be bought by a bigger studio. Codemasters have been a studio since 1986. They've been an independent studio since 1986. And is currently headquartered in Warwickshire, where obviously in England. It's an English company, or British, or whatever you want to call it. And it came as quite a surprise that Take-Two wanted Codemasters, and that was that. I was slightly concerned because Take-Two does have a bit of a checkered history. Yes, they publish Rockstar's games such as GTA 5, which has been a commercial success, as has Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption 1. But this came as a bit of a surprise, but I know they've had some checkered sort of history with the NBA games, and they're having ads in the middle of games when you're buying a $60 AAA game and they put ads in it. So that was a slight concern. And then the news broke that Electronic Arts, EA, have offered Codemasters a deal worth $1.2 billion, or £1 billion, which is nearly $300 million more than Take-Two had offered the month previously. Now, this is not confirmed. EA are still not confirmed to be buying Codemasters. We are waiting to see if Take-Two will respond. This could very well become a bidding war. Although I feel like they may have knocked it out of the park. $1.2 billion is quite a quite a package, quite a lot of money, and obviously a lot more than Take-Two had originally offered. Now, I won't lie to you, I am worried. EA has a very checkered history with video games. Immediately what comes to mind is Star Wars Battlefront 2. In 2017 we had the whole microtransaction scandal, all of that. I bought Battlefront 2 at launch and I had to sit through the pay-to-win features that game had, the loot boxes, the loot crates, the microtransactions. Yes, EA did turn it around. It took them 2 years, but the game now in its final state is amazing, and it is one of my favourite games of all time. But at the start, it was bad. Now, obviously they had 2 years to turn this around. F1 is like FIFA. It is a yearly series. You have a new game every single year to line up with the latest footballers, or in this case, the latest F1 drivers, the latest teams, latest tracks. And to me, the fact that EA are getting its mitts back on Codemasters, EA haven't published a game since F1 2002 in the F1 franchise. F1 2002 was the last time EA Sports published a Formula 1 game, and I don't know what to think. Now, if EA didn't have a checkered history, I would be more than happy. I'd think that Cody's would get more resources, more developers, more things given to them to make the F1 games more fleshed out. F1 2020 is a great game. The F2 cars are fantastic. The new circuits are fantastic. The Mighty mode is a literal godsend. It is that good. But this is EA. Now, FIFA 21 on Metacritic is sitting on a 0.3 user rating. 0.3. The latest FIFA game, that is mind-bogglingly bad, because what they do is they simply EA copy and paste each game to the next game, change the skins, change it, and they add microtransactions. FIFA 21 is effectively a pay-to-win game. You have the packs in Ultimate Team. Now, I had never played a FIFA game, okay? But I know that FIFA 21 was completely blitzed at launch with hate from the fans. And I'm incredibly worried because I feel like EA, their checkered past could very well leak onto the F1 series. They could very easily add their microtransactions, their DLC to the F1 franchise. I mean, we got F2 cars this month in the patch, December F1 patch, F2 cars for free for all players. Now, there are jokes online, pay £50 and you can play as Lewis Hamilton. They won't go that far, I hope. But we may have to have paid DLC. Classic cars could become paid DLC. Track packs. Imagine, they could launch track packs. Imagine that as paid DLC. You have to pay extra money to get tracks, to get cars. The only good thing that I can imagine from the acquisition for Codemasters is that they may get access to the Frostbite engine, which, if you don't know, the Frostbite is the main EA engine. It's quite a good engine. It's a very good engine, actually. They use it for virtually all their games. But that is the only positive I can think. I am incredibly scared for the future of the F1 franchise as a whole, because I really feel as if EA, they have such a checkered past that the acquisition of Codemasters, they're going to get their grubby mitts on Codemasters. You don't offer $1.2 billion for a studio to just let them have their own thing. You don't do that. So they are going to have to put the EA microtransactions, the way EA handles games, that is going to become a staple of the F1 franchise. Now, it may not become a staple for 2021. I feel like Codemasters, by now, are probably quite far down the development cycle for 2021. You've got the drivers have been announced, they have the drivers, the calendar is more or less, not quite certified by the Formula 1 management team, but they're more or less sort of, they know roughly where we're going to be racing for 2021, hopefully. So I feel like 2021 is too far down the development cycle for EA to really do anything, really. And it says here that if the deal does go ahead, it would be completed by the end of March 2021. Now that is far too far down the line for EA to really change anything for 2021. It is 2022 that will be the main issue. 2022, we have new F1 cars, we have a whole new bunch of things, and of course 2022, obviously, if it's in development, it's obviously at the back of Codemasters' minds. They need to finish on 2021, get that finished, get that sorted, and get that out, which is why they haven't really started on it. Which means by the time that they start development on F1 2022, EA will be firmly in control. As I said, March 2021. If this deal goes ahead, which it's still not certified, it's still not 100% guaranteed. If this deal goes ahead, March 2021, which gives them plenty of time to get their grubby mitts on F1 2022. If this deal goes ahead, and if EA do buy Codemasters, I, for one, am going to be incredibly cautious when it comes to buying F1 games. I have had every single Codemasters F1 game, except F1 2009 on the Wii, and F1 Race Stars. And let's be real, if you bought F1 Race Stars, you messed up. No, why would you buy F1 Race Stars? I have watched 2010 through to 2020. I have watched the series go up, have the highs of the 2013 series, the lows of the 2015 game, which was a shell of a game. And the last couple of years, 2-3 years, Codemasters have been hitting strides. Last year we had the inclusion of F2, and we had an F2 almost game, story, career mode, whatever you want to call it. This year we've had My Team, which has been an amazing addition, making your own F1 team, and I really hope that for 2021 Codemasters expand on that. I really hope, because I think that's a great, I think My Team is going to be the future of the F1 series, if there is a future. Now, Liberty Media, I will assume, will keep the license with Codemasters. They've had the license now for 11 or so years, since the Bernie days. Even if it is EA, I can imagine that Cody's will keep that license, and obviously they make the Dirt series. But I am, for one, incredibly worried. I feel like the microtransactions will become a thing on F1 2022. We could be paying for tracks, cars, classic cars, F2 cars, DLC could all be paid. They might have microtransactions like an Ultimate Team to get the best drivers, which I don't think would work, but this is EA. We can never be too certain. And it's incredibly worrying. EA haven't made or published a F1 game, as I said, since 2002. And if they're not going to publish a game, most likely until 2022, that's a 20-year gap. A lot can change in 20 years, and a lot has changed, mostly negatively for EA and the whole sort of sector. Now, there may be people out there that think that this could be benefit for Codemasters. The only benefits I can think of at the moment of Codemasters being bought out by EA are that they'll get more resources and they may get access to the Frostbite engine, which means the game may look better and may have fewer glitches. Although it wouldn't be a real Codemasters game if it didn't have glitches. Let's be real. These games are made for the glitches. But I am incredibly worried for the future of F1. This is a very rambly video. I haven't got a script or anything. I'm incredibly worried for the future of this franchise under EA's management. I just feel like we're going to get a lot of microtransactions, DLC, all of that. And it worries me. It really does. I was really happy with the direction Codemasters were taking their F1 games last few years, adding more and more new things to the table. And I just feel like going under EA is going to be a real reset. It's you can say that yes, F1 is like FIFA, they copy and paste it each year, but this year alone we had a whole new My Team, which has been a massive success with the fans. We've got 2 new tracks, F2 cars are in the game, a few more. Did we have classic cars? Yeah, we had Michael Schumacher's classic cars this year. So they do add stuff each year. To props to Codemasters, they're not the biggest studio, but they add stuff each and every year to the game. I feel like we may lose that. We may lose that individuality under EA. They may want to very much sort of keep it to a formula, the set formula that they have with FIFA. And if they do that for F1, then I am sorry, but I will not be purchasing the F1 games. I could be proven completely wrong, and in many ways I hope I am. I hope that Codemasters are given more resources and are given all the access in the world, given lots more resources, new engine, basically given the free reins. But this is EA, voted worst company in America several times. I highly doubt it. Looking at EA's past, the Star Wars Battlefront debacle, the FIFA debacle, I just really feel like, let's be real here, they're not going to keep off Codemasters. As I said, you don't pay $1.2 billion to get a studio and then not touch it at all. You have to be doing something with it if you're going to buy it for that much money. That's enough of me rambling. I don't think it's a really negative thing that EA are buying Codemasters. Obviously, it's not confirmed. Take-Two could respond, but EA have given Codemasters a deal that's nearly $300 million more. And I just feel like unless Take-Two really want Codemasters, they will let EA have it, at which point it will be a very, very dark day for the F1 community in terms of the games, because the games are a staple of my yearly plan. Always has to have an F1 game in it, and I feel like the future of F1 is now incredibly dark, if not incredibly checkered. But that's enough of me rambling. You've heard what I've thought. My belief that it's going to be a bad future for F1 games under EA. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be good that EA gets it? Do you think EA will get Codemasters? Do you think Take-Two could snag a bidding war? Could a bidding war start for Codemasters? I just really want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments section down below. What do you think about EA's takeover of Codemasters, if it goes ahead? If you enjoyed my rambling video here, just rambling on about how much I don't like EA buying Codemasters, give me a, what's it called? A subscription! Subscribe! That is the word. Give me a subscribe and give me a follow, not a follow, I do Twitch too much. Give me a subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you think in the comments below. I will, in the link in my description below, I will have a link to my Twitch. I stream every Saturday and Sunday, and it'd be great to have you guys there. I stream F1, Minecraft, Star Wars, anything, War Thunder, you name it, I stream it. Well, don't name it, because I'm not going to stream everything. That'll be in the description below, so check me out, give me a follow. But yeah, that's all from me, guys. I'll be uploading later a video on the F1 2020 season review, the real F1 season, and I hope you guys have a good, enjoyable rest of your day, and I will catch you all later.